Hello everyone, I'm Nia. I'm a Mext Scholarship studying animation at Kyoto University of the Arts. If you don't know me and if it's your first time, welcome to my channel. I talk about how to be successful as a Mext Scholarship in my channel and how is life in general in Japan, especially as an art student, and especially if you're an artist or if you're looking for studying art in a university in Japan, this is the right place for you. So today I want to talk about how to prepare for the Mext Scholarship interview. Okay, before starting the video, there's something I need to talk about it with you guys. First of all, I'm so sorry for not uploading for a while. I've been so busy and fed up and worn out with amount of responsibilities that I had, but fortunately I have much more free time right now. I started the second year of the master, which means that I have less classes, and it still means that I have to work on my graduation program, which is a stop motion. And if you like, I will update you guys in this channel about my stop motion, and I will let you know how I'm proceeding with my stop motion. And the second thing that I wanted to ask you guys is, since I'm trying to make time for this channel, I'm trying to upload more frequently, and your likes and comments and subscription means a lot. It's a very huge motivation for me, and it keeps me keep doing what I'm doing for this channel. So please like, comment, subscribe, and if you know anyone who wants to become a Mext Scholar, please recommend this channel to them too. And thank you for supporting me until here so far. So let's start talking about the interview. Okay, first let me review the Mext Scholarship process before I jump into the interview. There are three main steps. In the first step, you have to first deliver the documents and your research proposal, which I have dedicated a whole video about how to write a research proposal, and if you want to, please check it out. Then you have to take the language exam, and if you pass the exam, next is the interview. All of them are step 1. Yes, and I know it's a lot, and that's why I'm dividing all of them in different videos. I have talked about the whole process of the Mext Scholarship and the research proposal, but since the interview is much more important than the exam, so I decided to talk about the interview first. For people who haven't watched the previous video, I really recommend you to check them out to be fully prepared for the Mext Scholarship. The first video, I break down the whole process and is all you need to know about Mext Scholarship in general, and the second one is about how to write a research proposal. Okay, let's talk about the first part of this video, the format of the interview. Remember, the things that I'm telling might change from country to country, but based on the research I did from other Mext Scholarships from different countries, the format is usually close to what I'm going to explain from now on. Usually, the applicants are divided based on their desired degrees. So undergraduate, graduate, even master's and PhD applicants interview is held on different days. The interview takes about 15 to 20 minutes. When it's your turn, you will enter a room in which a chair is prepared for you to sit. There are 3 to 4 interviewers, usually 2 people from embassy officials and other 2 professors related to your area in university. Sometimes there are previous Mext Scholarship too. In my case, there were 2 Japanese people and 2 Iranian professors who were previous Mext Scholars. Also, there will be 2 to 3 meters distance with them, which looks quite intimidating, but try to keep your cool. It's not that scary that it looks like. Try to have a good first impression with entering the room with confidence and greetings, but obviously don't be cocky. It's nice to do greetings and self-introduction in Japanese if you can, but I did it in English anyway. They might ask you if you can talk in Japanese. It's not the case for everyone though. If you can talk, it's a good point to do the introduction, especially in Japanese. If not, don't panic. It's alright, and just let them know that you prefer it in English. They will ask you to talk about your research proposal for 5 minutes. Definitely read your research proposal a lot of time and prepare it beforehand. Since the interview is held in embassy, you can't bring any digital device, so prepare your presentation without PowerPoint. that was the first part of the video. Now let's move on to the second part of the interview. Based on my research from Mext Scholarship from different countries, there are some frequently asked questions, but this is not the case for everyone. I will talk about some of the most repeated questions. Okay, first question is, why do you want to go to Japan for this research theme? There's a high chance that you will be asked this question. If you have written it in your research proposal, you have the answer already, but if you don't know how to answer this question, try to find something relevant to your research theme in Japan that you can use for your research. It could be something that Japan could be a role model, or an artist, or a technique that is specialized in Japan, which makes total sense for you to study Japan rather than other countries. So you need to find a reason that why you can study this research theme in other countries. The second common question is how your research can help and benefit both countries. If your research proposal contains cultural elements, this question will be easy for you to answer. If you have watched the previous video, you know how I talk about if your research theme is related to the culture of Japan or your country or both of them, you're gonna have higher chances of winning the Mext Scholarship. And here it is one of the reasons. Because when your research theme is related to the culture, it's so easy to connect and have a reason why your research theme benefits both countries. But okay, not everyone wants to work on the cultural aspects. So if your research theme is not related to the cultural aspects, try to think about what is the result of your research proposal and how it can benefit both countries. If it is a product, how does it benefit the country, either economically, educationally, or in any other way? Try to find one practical thing. It will be so helpful if you can give an example. For example, in my case, since it was about animation, I talked about animated movies created with the collaboration of two different countries or two different culture. For example, like Red Turtle. The third question is, what will you do after your study? Well, this one is already included in your research proposal too, so chances are they won't ask it anymore. But most of the time, the interviewer asks you the same questions in your research proposal just to test how passionate and serious you are. So try to answer clearly what is your goal and what do you want to do after graduation. Okay, now let's move on to the last part of the video, the tips. I have 5 tips for this video. The first tip I can give to you as an art applicant is the professors who are going to interview might not be in a related major, or at least not directly related, and chances are they might not know anything about your field of work. So try to explain your research plan in a way even people who don't know anything about art can understand it too. Remember, it's good to go in details and use technical terms in your research proposal, but do not do the same for the interview, unless you realize that the interviewer are quite knowledgeable too. But even in that case, keep in mind that the people who are from the embassy officials, they are not quite familiar with this. The second tip is very important in my opinion, and that is that the main purpose of the interview is first, examine your English fluency, second, find out how serious and dedicated you are to your research proposal. So simply, they want to find out if you're applying for this scholarship only to receive some money or you are truly dedicated to your proposal. And further, typically the one that is related to your field of work will try to question your research proposal. It might seem like they're attacking you, but try to not take it personally. The next tip is be prepared for any random questions. So in my case, since none of the people who interviewed me were directly related to my major, they started asking me some random questions like, why am I not willing to continue my study in my country? Which the answer was very clear in my mind, because my desired major was animation, and Hungary is better than Japan to study animation. It's like very ironically obvious. But yeah, what I want to say is that sometimes they might just start asking some random question. So the next tip that I have for you is for when you don't know an answer to a question, my advice is to be honest and say that you don't know, but you are willing to find the answer to that question when you started your studies as a Mext Scholarship or something like that. It's okay, it's totally fine not to know the answer to all of the questions. I mean, you are a student for a reason. The last tip I have for you is don't panic if your interview is not long enough. My interview finished sooner than other applicants and I panicked as I saw for the other applicants it took longer. I completely believe that I won't pass the interview since I wasn't asked a lot of questions and most of them weren't even relevant to my research proposal, but here I am and I was accepted for the interview. That's it, the video for today. Comment down below if you have any question and thank you so much for listening.